Hello and welcome back to Come Geek Some. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for all future content. So, one of the good things that has come out of the actual Dallas News article, which was done by Sharon Grigsby, is that a lot of people now are starting to see how bad this whole situation has become. So, this is actually on bleedingfool.com, and it's actually a really good story. It's a really good article. You know, this was back on the August the 8th, actually, as well. But a lot of people now are just finding it. So, Vic Mignogna update, is Kick Vic's attorney manipulating the press? And this is what it actually seems like it is, and this is what's going on. So I'm going to read a few excerpts from the article, but I will leave a link below for people to go over and give it a whole read. So, there seems to be a desperate effort being made to sway media on the side of the Kick Vic crowd. We have been covering the Vic Mignogna case for months, diligently covering every piece of information that comes out with a bit of humour injected, with consent for entertainment purposes. But despite the clear bias I have shown in each article written on this subject, I can honestly say that my journalistic integrity has not been compromised. The same cannot be said for columnist Sharon Grigsby and her Dallas News article, who decided to publish some statements that almost immediately required clarifications, which it is true. You had Nick Recader, you had Type, and you had a few other people coming out saying, actually no, that's been debunked, and no, that hasn't happened. So it goes to show what side Sharon Grigsby is on, and she was probably paid to actually write this article by Monica and Ron's attorney. So it's really interesting because it goes by here, we're going to say just the next article. Grigsby shows her anime chops by crediting Dragon Ball Super Broly for its wildly successful run in theatres, and remarks how the wildly successful opening also unleashed a torrent of chatter about Vic. Long-rumoured, alleged inappropriate behaviour. She goes on to confirm that conventions began to remove him from their lineups at around the time where publicity for this movie would be a huge moneymaker for all action and conventions involved. Once again, Grigsby goes on to correctly state that this is a case involving the heavily criticised Me Too movement, for its affinity to destroy careers first, ask questions later. What makes the case unusual in this era is that Vic Mignogna is digging in and fighting back in court, with a lawsuit alleging, among other things, defamation, Grigsby adds. This last statement is partially true, as more people have been smeared in the wave of accusations are fighting back by exposing their accusers to little legal recourse. Which is true this day and age. It's like, literally, if you haven't done anything wrong and these people start saying all this horrible stuff about you, you have the right to go against them and say, right, I'm going to sue you now because none of that is right. You know for a fact it's not, and you have literally, you ruined my career, so that's what it is. Furthermore, Grigsby explains how it was tweets by animation and gaming aficionado Kaylin Sakudo, which again is Mars Girl, so it's, again, they're going by Mars Girl of all people, who's saying that she has all of this stuff and her connections to the industry. It's like, wow. This woman, she can't do anything right. And they're saying, so it does go to show what side Sharon Grigsby is on. So, yeah, Kaylin accused Vic of great volumes of misconduct and urged Funimation to reconsider its hiring of him. That had great impact on the narrative of the story. Her connections to the industry allowed for it to be shared so openly. Grigsby conveniently does not mention how Mars Girl was the creator of the Kick Vic hashtag, which unleashed the torrent Grigsby mentioned earlier in her article and set in motion these events. And Scott Byers, they'd say about obviously the hit pieces, this was missing the cool treatment that lets people, derail a few careers. And one of the things is, they've said it in this article, and I've said it myself, and so has a lot of other people, is that the way that this person is using the specific term of a GoFundMe war chest, all these people, it's like, come on, it's like you are all so stupid, literally. And when it's got by years, like, kissing children on the forehead or cheek is creepy. How is it, it's like, what is wrong with these people? It doesn't take a rocket surgeon to link these statements to a single source, as he is quoted throughout the article, which is Greg Douchebag. If we assume that Sean Batan Deathmatch Limon is the mastermind behind this publication, the next question should be, why use this specific author to pen this narrative? And this is where Bleeding Fool, they go on, and it's actually really, really good, because what they've said here is what she's done, and supposedly, this Sharon Grigsby, she has been a fantastic journalist, So they say on Bleeding Cool, that's where we get to the journalistic integrity part of the question. This is not an article intended to inform the general public of an ongoing legal case. Instead, Grigsby has sold her integrity for a poorly researched hit piece intended to poison the well for future potential jurors. Once acclaimed a great editorial journalist for her coverage of the Baylor University sex scandal, her coverage of Dallas PD's racist social media posts, she shows just how far she has fallen. Her coverage is laden with adjectives designed to create an emotional response from the reader, guiding their outrage towards one source and hopefully create a more robust narrative to make the women appear like victims. It's absolutely brilliant, and the article does go on. They talk about Nick, they talk about tying a bit more of Vic and everything else, so it does go to show that this person who has wrote this article, she literally hasn't got a clue on what she's doing. And one of the best things is, on the 19th of August this month, this is what she actually replied to Greg Douche. Greg went with, I do sometimes wonder if Sharon F. Grigsby had any idea just how rabid these kids would be when she wrote the article. And she's like, oh, absolutely. Actually, I expected it to be much worse. And yes, I will be in the courtroom for the September 6th hearing. So that's just good, because she's going to be there and she's going to see how messed up all of this is. Because unlike all of us, the ones who have actually gone through all the deposition videos, the hours of content that they've, recorded. We've seen it all, and we've watched everything, we've looked into everything, and this person has just literally been given one-sided correspondence, really. That's exactly what's happened. And she's going to be in the courtroom now on September 6th for all of this, and she's probably going to be at the end of it like, oh, well, that didn't turn out how I planned. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see you lovely people soon.